Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas. Kayang magiging sa sinanayan, alam na puso sa tingin ko'y buhay. Lupang binilang, ulan ang magiging sa mandulupin. Ikapasisingin sa nagatang tulong sa simulan sa langit ko bamang ay nilatang tulakaw sa pagkayang ikahaman. Sa ng magawag ko'y natunay na nagiging ang ituwid na araw na kailan ang ay nagiging lumagang araw na warhanin pagsingkap ko'y nangit sa mo. Ang bigaya naman ay marami, ang malagay ng dahil sa'yo. Simlang unang ngayon, isang naging layon. Magkaisa ang mga mundo, kaibigan ay marunong. Malayo mula sa hamon ng dagat, iyang sa mga sa puso ang paniniwala, ang ginhawa para sa araw. Pagsamoy ng lumpay, mula na bang gusto at buhay, kapayapaan, katarungan, ay ang pinanglaban. Walang pinigil sa damdamin, mga ako'y tutumarin. Habang buhay kami sa'yo'y magpapatay, mananangin sa puso't isipan. Ang lahat tumutin ay nagbuwis ng buhay, nasa pilang may kapal. Ang sambahay ng lumpay, mula na bawis at buhay, kapayapaan, katarungan, ay ating ang nakamtan. Pagpalay magsamot. Okay, time check natin. Pasensya kayo, no? Medyo mahina po ang pasok ng internet. Okay, 14 minutos po pasado po ng alas 7 na po ng umaga ito, no? Masama pa naman ang boses natin, na araw ito at 3 po ng Enero 2024, and then araw po ng Huwebes. Miyerkules mga suki, mga kawan. Sorry po. Martes po kahapon, no? Okay, magandang umaga. Good morning. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh sa mga nakikinig po ng mga minority, kapwa natin minority dito po sa bansang Pilipinas, no? Okay, ayon po sa mamaya po, no? Okay, dito tayo sa programa Halo-Halo Special, Opinion Balita at iba pa. Kasama po Serbisyo Publiko Tinig ng Mamamayan. And then, sumbungan po ng mamamayan ang balita natin, no? Okay, latest po ay meron pong nadali po, leader po ng leader po ng Hamas diyan po sa Lebanon. Okay, tinamaan po ng drone. Okay, ng di umano, drone po ng Israel mga kababayan, no? Okay, na sentro po. Okay, hindi kasi nakita nyo ang ano, no? Kung makita nyo lang ang mga footage ito, grabe po ang nangyari dito mga suki, no? So isang senior po, leader po ng Hamas, okay, nadali po diyan po sa Lebanon. Okay. Pakinggan na nga natin ang sabog lang mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Okay, itong si Al-Nuri. Okay, pakinggan natin po ang latest. Okay, patuloy po ng bakbakan po dyan sa area na yan, no? Okay, ayan. Okay, sana makuha natin ito, no? Okay, ang kahit lang sound muna mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Okay. Ayan. Bakit ayaw? Tingnan natin volume. Volume po mga suki, no? Ayan. Yan po. Grabe. Footage lang po kinuha ng mga media dyan, no? Ayan. Tinamaan po ng drone ng Israel mga suki, no? Di umano? Ilipat natin ang kung ano, hindi gaano mga klaro. Sandali lang. Ayan. Ilipat natin ito sa iba. Baka malakas dito. Okay, sige ulitin natin, no? Malakas.
سيارة طلعت صاروخين محملته ورجعت نزلت ورا الصاروخين سجلت حالها بالبداية. سيارة طلعت صاروخين محملته ورجعت نزلت ورا الصاروخين سجلت حالها بالبداية.
Grabe po.
هيا رفع الصاروخان حملته رجعت نزلت ورا الصاروخان رجع الحالة بالبداية.
Okay, lipat natin baka rito ay may klaro po mga suki ang okay, pagkadali po ng isang official po ng Hamas, no? Okay, top Hamas official killed in Beirut. Pakinggan natin.
An explosion in Beirut has killed Saleh Arouri, a top official of the Palestinian militant group Hamas, which is considered a terror organization by the US, the EU, and many other countries.
Saleh Arouri.
Lebanon's state-run news agency said the blast killed 4 people in the southern suburb of Beirut and was carried out by an Israeli drone. The suburb is considered a stronghold of Lebanon's Hezbollah militant group. Israeli officials declined to comment, but Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had threatened to kill Arouri even before the October 7th Hamas terror attacks. Let's get more on this from our correspondent, Abbas Al-Khashali in Beirut. Abbas, what more can you tell us about this strike right now?
Because, as you said, it's 6 people were killed in a drone strike today. It's about 2 hours ago. It was targeting Al-Dahiya. Al-Dahiya is Beirut's southern suburbs. It's called Al-Dahiya Junubiya in Beirut. And we could hear the explosion. It was quite strong. And the officials say that the person couldn't identified were killed, and we are waiting for the next development. Al-Dahiya was very busy area. It's not far from here. It's from maybe almost about 5 kilometers far from here, and it's very busy area in this time. It's evening, and everybody was on the road. And maybe there are some civilians being injured during this attack.
Figure was Saleh Arouri in the ranks of Hamas.
He is one of the top leaders in Hamas. He is one of the founder of Al-Qassam Group, the military wing in Hamas, and he became a member of Politburo since 2010. And he returned back to Beirut in 2017. He was outside Beirut, and because there was some misunderstanding between Hezbollah and Hamas because of the war in Syria. So he is one of the most important top leaders in Hamas Politburo, and targeting him, it means a lot to Hamas and for Hezbollah, exactly, especially because there's being targeted, this person being targeted by in a strike, drone strike in Al-Dahiya, south of Beirut. So it means a lot,
How have Lebanese authorities reacted to this strike in the capital?
There are different kind of reactions. There are some politicians condemned the attack and this strike, and the Prime Minister of Lebanon, he said, Mr. Mikati, condemned Israel's killing of Arouri. He said the attack aims to draw Lebanon further into the Israeli-Hamas war, into a new phase of the confrontation with Israel. And now we got that Lebanon to submit complaint to UN Security Council against the strike. So there are some reactions here, but the people here around Beirut are very worried, and the situation became really complicated and very critical.
And we have to be clear here that Israel has not yet claimed or has not claimed responsibility for this strike. You mentioned there the Prime Minister talking about being drawn into a conflict among the population. How big are fears of a wider conflict?
The fears is quite big, in fact, because we were talking here in Lebanon, the people talking here in Lebanon about, they call it like the rules of engagement between Israel and Hezbollah. Now there is a new dynamic for this conflict. We're talking about targeting Al-Dahi, the south suburbs of Beirut. So now we have a new rules. Nobody knows, especially that the people are waiting tomorrow speech of Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah. We don't know how the situation will be continued and how will be developed. Nobody knows. The people are waiting the speech of Hassan Nasrallah, and usually when he's speaking about something about Israel and the conflict with Israel, the people are in Lebanon very well, and they are waiting his speech carefully because Hezbollah is well-trained fighters. They have about 100,000 fighters, well-trained fighters in Lebanon, and they are always on the south of Lebanon. We were talking about before about targeting on the border, Israel targeting a village or some fighters of Hezbollah on the border, Lebanese border, and Hezbollah targeting and strikes another on the other side of Israel. Now we are talking about targeting and strike inside Beirut, and this means a lot.
That's Abbas Al-Khashali. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And moving on to Sami Sokol, who's following the story for us from
Okay, yan po ang latest, no? Yan po ang latest po. Okay, may laman ng bunganga ko, no? Latest po sa patuloy po ng bakbakan diyan po sa area ng Israel, Gaza, at saka palibot po itong katulad ng Beirut. Okay, Lebanon po mga kababayan, no? So, isang top leader ng Hamas, okay, nadali po sa pamagitan po ng drone. Okay, na target po ang isang top leader po ng Hamas, no? Okay. Ayan. Okay, sandali lang. Yung laman ng bunganga ko kasi kailangan kumain. Sandali lang, no? Okay, ito po sandali lang may kasunod mga kababayan, na. Okay, sandali lang. Okay, ang studio kailangan po mag-upgrade ng kanyang equipment po mga kababayan, no? Okay, marami ng okay, yung mga object pumapasok interference mga suki mga kababayan, no? Okay, kailangan na mag-purchase okay ng mga gadget kasi medyo luma na ito mga kababayan, mga gadget natin, no? Okay, 13 years na po ang itong news online natin po mga kababayan, no? Okay, matagal na. Ayan. So, okay, anong susunod na balita natin? Okay, itong susunod na balita natin. Okay, itong bakit withdraw po, nag-retreat. Okay, itong Israeli defense force mga kababayan, no? So dito malalaman natin okay kung bakit ay mag-withdraw sila. Okay? So diyan lang kayo. Okay, makinig lang kayo, wala kayong ginagawa, makinig po lang mga kababayan, na.
We just happen to be on the front lines of the war. 7th, 2023, because we still have.
You are taking a live look right now at the Israel-Gaza border as sirens are sounding again at this hour across Israel. More rockets launched toward northern Israel right now. This comes as heavy fighting is being reported in the southern Gaza city of Han Yunis today, a day after Israel said that it was withdrawing thousands of troops from other areas. The Israel Defense Forces also saying that it expects the war will continue through at least the end of this next year. I do want to talk about all of the latest developments, so let's bring in Tal Heinrich, an Israeli government spokesperson. Thank you so much, as always, Tal, for taking the time to be here with us.
Thank you, Josh.
First off, I do want to talk a little bit about what happened there on New Year's. As the clock did strike midnight there in Israel, there was a barrage of rockets that was fired by Hamas. What can you tell me about that? As you guys are trying to celebrate the New Year, you have rockets coming in your direction.
I saw it personally with my own eyes. I was based in Tel Aviv at midnight, and exactly when the clock hit midnight, Hamas fired dozens of missiles towards south and central Israel. And there you have it. Instead of having fireworks and celebrations in the skies, listening to people, cheering at midnight, you see these very sad images in the skies of interceptions. Thankfully, we have the Iron Dome, but it's outrageous. We have gotten used to living under such a reality for all the years in which Hamas has been in power in Gaza, and we say no more. You know that since the beginning of the war that Hamas has dragged us into on October 7th, more than 13,000 rockets, Josh, were fired towards Israeli territory. This is not a reality that we will agree to. This is why we're operating in Gaza right now. So we wanted a different start for the new year, but I can tell you that for many of us, it's still October 7th, 2023, because we still have 129 hostages being held captive by a brutal terrorist organizations for 80 plus days in Gaza. And it feels as if time is standing still for many of us, all of us, I think we can say. So, the custom, of course, is to take upon oneself resolutions, make new decisions for the coming year. Usually individuals make it, but I can tell you that in Israel, we are making these decisions for the new year as a nation, and we are very united. And the resolve is clear. We will destroy Hamas. We will eliminate their terrorist regime. We will bring back all of the hostages home. Nobody will be left behind, and Gaza will never pose a terror threat to us again.
Now, we have seen video of a Hamas operative being interviewed. It was released a short time ago, and he did say that Hamas does, in fact, use Gaza civilians as human shields, which is something that you've mentioned when I've spoken to you. Other Israeli government spokespersons have mentioned that as well. Do you hope the public is going to listen to that message and maybe watch that video and understand the dangers that are posed to Gaza civilians by Hamas?
We always hope, Josh, that more and more people around the world will understand what we're dealing with. We have said it all along, not only now, also in previous rounds of conflict with Hamas. This is what they do. That's their strategy. They are committing a double war crime when they target our civilian population from inside and underneath their own civilian population. And they admit it. In interrogations, Hamas commanders that we have interrogated here in Israel, they say it on record. We have shown video proof of this strategy. And unfortunately, you have many in the international community overlooking this very sad aspect. And then you have some who definitely acknowledge that Hamas are doing this, using the Palestinian civilians as human shields. But then they put the pressure on Israel when Israel operates against these terrorists. And that is outrageous, because they are in fact incentivizing this use
of human shields. If you put the pressure on Israel, if you want Israel to take the fire for Hamas's actions, you are just blowing wind in their sails, so to say.
We've also seen some of the images that have been posted by the IDF as well as the Israel Twitter page. A lot of different organizations tweeting out these photos and videos that show more weapons have now been found inside of school classrooms, including kindergartens, right?
Yes, and we found tiny Hamas uniform tailored for children, photos of children, women with weapons. In fact, we have released also, the IDF released a video of one Hamas commander, a different one who was interrogated in Israel, and he admitted that they are exploiting children, using children to transfer ammunition. Who does that? What kind of monsters are using children for their war machine? This is what Israel is dealing with. These types of terrorists. That is outrageous. And to that I ask, well, where is UNICEF? Where is UNICEF?
We actually heard an account, a firsthand account now from Mia Shem. She's the young woman who was shot, taken hostage by Hamas. And we did see the first propaganda video that was released by Hamas showed her, and she kind of talked about that video in about a 30-minute interview. What do you hope that people are going to take away from her story specifically?
First, I watched the interviews with Mia. Both Mia and her family, her mother, are so courageous, so resilient. And I think that people out there have to understand that this is exactly what the Israeli nation is feeling right now. Yes, we have been through a terrible hell trauma on October 7th, but we will prevail. And Mia is a tremendous example of this. But Mia actually appeared in two propaganda videos. The first one when she was being held captive by Hamas, and if you remember, you saw in that video how they were treating her arm because she was injured. A vet actually operated her, as she described in her account to one of the Israeli channels. And it was pure propaganda, because in that video she said that they're treating me well. But when you listen to the interview, she's describing the hell she has been through, how she was traumatized, how she was watched 24/7 by a terrorist and his family, by the way, how she was starved, how she had to change her own medical equipment, the Band-Aids and so to say. And she's been through hell, but just like Mia, kept optimistic and knew that she will make her way out and prevail. We have a moral duty to Mia, by the way, to promise her that she can be completely safe now when she's in Israel, that the terrorists will never, ever get to her again. And to the ones who were, for now, left behind, that we will bring each and every one of them home. For that reason, we will continue with the operation, we'll continue with the war that we were dragged into, and we will eliminate this terrorist regime.
And we've seen a lot of pro-Palestinian, or I really should say anti-Israel protests that have been taking place here across the U.S. They've been across the world. What do you say to folks right now who are taking part in those protests? I know that we talked about one right before we brought you on over at JFK Airport in New York, and there was one on Wall Street, the same group responsible for both. But what do you say to those protesters who are out there?
That this is a time for moral duty. It's not just me saying it. The Prime Minister said it. President Biden said it. Many other world leaders who came here to stand with Israel in Israel throughout the war have said it. It's a time for moral clarity. It is very important that we, the international community, not only Israel, we just happen to be on the front lines of the war against terrorism right now, sent an unequivocal message against terrorism. The year is 2024, Josh. Terrorism is a dead end, and everyone around the world must understand that terrorism is a dead end. So we are sending a clear message, not only to Hamas, but to every bad actor around the world right now. Don't try us, don't test us. And these people who are protesting against Israel simply don't get it. They don't get it. And I think they have to do some learning. They have to better understand what really happened here. And you know what? They're not really helping the Palestinian civilians. Maybe they think they are, but they're not. What they're doing is serving as apologists for Hamas, because if you're not standing for Israel right now, well, you're helping Hamas.
And Israel does say that it is going to remove some of the troops there that have been on the ground there in Gaza. What does that say about the war itself? Is that saying that things are winding down? The fight against Hamas is ending anytime soon?
No, not at all. We have very clear goals for this war. We said Hamas will be eliminated, Gaza will be demilitarized, and we hope that the Palestinian society afterwards will be de-radicalized. We also want to make sure that we won't see a resurgence, of course, of terrorism in the Gaza Strip, and that Gaza will never, ever pose a terror threat to Israel again. Now, this will take time. This will take time. And for that, we are making certain adjustments with the troops on the ground, the forces on the ground. But this is something very, very natural. Just a reshuffling of the forces, some respite, some rest to some of the troops. But it says nothing about the bigger picture.
My last question here. What can you tell me about the next possible deal for another hostage release here? Is there anything in the works? Are we far along in that? What can you actually tell me right now?
That the hostages plight is definitely the top of mind every day, every minute, every hour. They have been through horrendous things. That's what we're hearing from the ones who were released, and we will continue to pursue every avenue to bring about the release of all hostages. Now we know that what created the conditions back in November to bring about the release of hostages, the ones who came back so far as per this outline that was mediated by international actors, was the pressure that we exerted on Hamas in the war on the ground. We will continue to hit them hard, and we hope that this will once again create the right conditions to see the release of more hostages. We will not stop, and we will not rest. We will bring them home.
All right, Tal Heinrich there, Israeli government spokesperson. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to join us and help break down the latest developments here in the war. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I would like to say happy 2024, a safe and secure one to all of your viewers.
All right. Thank you again for taking the time to be here with us. We appreciate it.
Of course.
Okay, balanse po ang news natin. Okay, huwag po magagalit po yung mga magkabilang side, no? Basta news natin balanse. Yung spokes, women po ng Israel yung pinarinig natin, no? Bakit sila nag-withdraw po okay, sa Gaza Strip at sa Central Gaza, no? Huwag po magsabi po yung na tayo ay bias po magbalita, mga kababayan, no? Okay, balanse natin. Ang susunod na balita natin, yung independent news naman, okay, pag magbalita ito, always balance po, mga kababayan, no? Okay, sandali lang. Ayan. Okay, ang kailangan ko po i-upgrade naman dahil matagal na itong gamit. Speaker, itong marinig nyo na mga kababayan, no? Kailangan palitan ito. Ayan. Okay, mga 4 na gadget po ang dapat palitan nito mga kababayan, no? Okay, so ako maggastos naman ng ADLSNTV Corporation, no? Okay, para maganda po ang balita natin mga kababayan, no? 13 years na tayo ngayon. Okay, sa Himpapawid sa News Online mga kababayan, no? Okay, ito balance ito, sigurado balance ito, no? Beirut attack. Pakinggan natin. Ayan.
So if you're just joining us here, we're going to recap our breaking news coming out of Lebanon, where an Israeli drone has assassinated Saleh al-Aruri, a senior official from Hamas. At least 4 people died in the strike, which took place in the southern part of Lebanon's capital, Beirut. The office was located in the suburb of Bahia. Ali Hashim is live for us now in Nakoura in southern Lebanon. So, Ali, what more are you hearing, and how significant is this development?
Well, Hazem, as you said, this assassination of Saleh al-Aruri, deputy Politburo of Hamas, along with 3 of his assistants in an explosion. Till the moment, we don't have any confirmation whether this was a drone attack, whether this was an explosion, a bomb planted in the office, or a warplane. Till the moment, there are no clear, there's no clear picture on how this was conducted, though there are many that are saying it's likely a drone attack. And if it's a drone attack, then this is the first time since 2006 in Beirut. The other thing is that Saleh al-Aruri's significance within Hamas. He's the liaison between the military wing and the political bureau. He is the man who's known to be one of the founders of the military wing of Al-Qassam brigades. He was in Israeli prisons for 15 years, since the 90s and till 2010, when he was released. Then he left to Syria, and from Syria to Turkey, and from Turkey back came to Lebanon, where he was assassinated today. The significance of this assassination is that it puts, or it stresses, the fact that this whole war that started on the 7th of October 2023 is a multi-layered war, a war that's already being raged on Gaza, people being killed in Gaza. At the same time, it's a security war and multiple fronts. One of them is Lebanon, and actually this puts the assassination of Saleh al-Aruri into also another dimension. There is the Hamas dimension, and there is the Lebanon dimension, and there's the Hezbollah dimension, especially with the Secretary General of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, vowing in the past months and years that any Israeli assassination to any of the resistance leaders, as he said, is going to be faced with retaliation, and harsh retaliation. Now, we'll all be waiting to see what Nasrallah is supposed to say in a speech that was still before the assassination of Aruri was planned for tomorrow. Now, we don't know if this speech is going to continue as scheduled tomorrow, or it's going to be postponed for another couple of days for Hezbollah to weigh its options, because actually this is kind of a turning point in the whole confrontation with respect to the Lebanese front. For the front in Gaza, it's just part of this whole context. But for the Lebanese front, it could be a trigger for something bigger, especially that it comes a week after another assassination in Damascus. Israel is trying to take this whole confrontation to a new space. And this could mean not containing this war. Actually, many thought that the assassination of a senior Hamas leader could end this war. But the fact is that the assassination of a senior Hamas leader in Beirut could trigger a new dramatic context. And this is what many right now are really thinking. Observers can't really analyze in such a moment. So Saleh al-Aruri was assassinated, as we reported. He's a senior Hamas commander. He's a senior Hamas official. And the irony here is that Israel wasn't able to assassinate or kill any of the major or senior Hamas officials and commanders in its 3 months war in Gaza. At the end, it came and killed one of Hamas's leaders in Beirut. This is one of the ironies of this war.
And Ali, you're talking to us from Naqoura in southern Lebanon, where you've been reporting for several days now on the ongoing clashes between Hezbollah forces in southern Lebanon and Israel. What implications is the news of this apparent assassination going to have for that aspect of the conflict?
Hazem, there were rules of engagement that we've been referring to all over the past 3 months. Rules of engagement, whereas Hezbollah is hitting within 3 to 5 kilometers, sometimes 10 kilometers inside the Israeli territories, and Israel hitting also within the Lebanese territories towards the Litani River, which is like in a depth of 15 to 20 kilometers maximum. But today, there's something outside the box. There's something outside the whole rules of engagement. And this, at least given the fact that Hezbollah committed to that in the past, this could mean, and well, we don't have a clear answer, but this could mean, if we want to analyze, that Hezbollah is going to respond from outside the rules of engagement. And what would this mean? This is the big question. How is this going to end? Is it going to end just with this hit for a hit, tit for tat, or this is going to widen the scope of the war? This is what many people are actually concerned of. And in the past few weeks, people were leaving South Lebanon, and according to United Nations numbers, there are more than 70,000 Southerners who are not anymore in their homes at the border. But now, with the hit inside Beirut, in the southern suburb of Beirut, this is another reason for people to be concerned and for civilians to be feeling unsafe anywhere, whether it's in the south or in Beirut. And this takes this whole confrontation, as we've been saying, into a new dimension.
All right, for the moment, Ali Hashem in Naqoura in Lebanon. Let's go to Zaina Khalid, who joins us on the line now from Beirut. So, Zaina, you have reported extensively from the Lebanese capital for many years now. Targeted assassinations, as this certainly appears to be, are unfortunately nothing new in Beirut. But what do you make of what has happened here over the last hour?
Well, nothing new, but the first assassination in years. And once news broke of an explosion in the southern suburbs of Beirut, which is an area where Hezbollah holds sway, I can tell you there was panic. There was panic in the Lebanese camp. The Lebanese know what this means. There were reports of a targeted strike and targeted assassination, serious escalation. It definitely escalated and widened the ongoing conflict along the Lebanon.
Okay, tama po sinabi po ni President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, no? Ang gera ito ay papasok po sa inyong mga tahanan, mga kababayan, no? Ganon po katinik itong mga Mossad intelligence at saka itong Israeli mga kababayan, no? Okay, well equipped sila. Okay, pag target po ng mga grupo po ay kumakalaban sa kanila, no? Example na lang itong si Al-Nuri. Okay, Salih Al-Nuri. Okay, doon na po sa bansang Lebanon. Ayan. Sige. Ayan. Okay, kaya nga mag-ingat tayo na. Tama po sinabi po ni Recep Tayyip Erdogan, no? Talaga na pupunta sa bahay mo itong bakbakan nito mga kababayan, no? Okay. Pupunta sa bahay mo. Okay. Sinasabi lang natin dahil yon po ang totoo mga kababayan, no? Yon po ang totoong balita. Okay, ang paggera ito pupunta sa bahay mo. Kasi target ka. Ayan po mga suki, no? Sinasabi lang natin. Okay? Kung talagang ikaw ay titirahin, okay, sa loob ng bahay mo. Okay, sa halimbawa ito, sa loob ng studio ko, kaya nila targetin mga suki, no? Okay, kaya nila targetin. Okay. Hindi ka makaligtas kung talaga ikaw ay kursunada mga kababayan, no? Okay, ipagpatuloy po natin ang independent news mga kababayan, no? Okay.
Israel border. The conflict along the border is now it's going to enter its fourth month. But the targeted killing made many people here in the capital feel that this conflict could widen and could escalate. And all eyes are now on Hezbollah's reaction. Because even before...
Okay, wala po. Talagang mag-widen. Okay, mag-widen po ang gera ito. Mag-escalate ito mga sukod yan sa loob ng Middle East mga suki, no? Okay, hindi na. Okay, wala na po sunod ng batas, no? Okay, mismo UI, United Nations Security Council, okay, paralyzed dito po sa gera ito, no? Okay, so sa dami po ng mag-analyze, ito ay Third World War mga kababayan, no? Mga tlong digmaan po ng daigdig ang mangyayari ito, no? Kasi walang magbaba po ng kanilang bandila. Labanan talaga mga suki, no? Kung sino ang matira, yan po ang labanan nito mga kababayan, no? Okay. Ayan, kailangan maging handa ka. Okay, sa gera ito kung wala nang maniwala sa batas mga suki, no? Wala nang maniwala sa United Nations Security Council. Wala na rin maniwala po sa United Nations General Assembly. Wala na rin maniwala po sa international humanitarian law. Wala na. Kaya ngayon, ang situation natin ay law of kangaroo. Okay, wala na. Sayang na po ang batas kasi ang UN Charter dapat ilagay na lang sa basura mga kababayan, no? Okay, wala na. So, okay, inutil lahat po mga suki, ang mga leader, mga diplomats, diyan po sa loob po ng United Nation General Assembly, no? At saka United Nation Security Council, wala na. Hindi na po pinapaniwalaan. Okay, sinira po, okay, ng dalawang grupo ito ang batas po mga kababayan, no? Itong pinamunuan po ng, narinig nyo ba, pinarinig ko kahapon kung anong kasaysayan po ng itong si Prime Minister Netanyahu, kung saan siya magsimula. Extremist Zionism mga kababayan, no? Okay, wala pag-isip po ng buhay ng tao. Okay, itong tao na ito, no? Sa salita natin nung Benjamin Naitan ito. Ang term sa salitang iyakan po ang Naitan o talagang yung laging yung Naitan ba? Evil. Evil po ang kanyang ang ibig sabihin sa salita natin, no? Naitan. Okay, Naitan ang tao ito mga kababayan, walang awa sa kapwa. puro hatred. Okay, ang kanyang nasa loob, no? Kaya napaka-dangerous pang tao ito. Ay sinasabi natin kaya nga ang background ng tatay niya at pamilya niya ay talagang extreme Zionism, mga kababayan, no? Talagang puminsala po, okay, sa mga Palestino at saka mga Arabo, mga kababayan, no? Netanyahu. Okay, always Naitan, mga kababayan, no? Always evil ang kanyang ginagawa po sa mga karatig kwan niya. Naitan. Salitang yakan yun, Naitan. Okay? Lagi po hindi maganda, mga suki, no? Hindi magandang pangalan niya. Netanyahu. Ayan. Okay, puro hatred. Sa salitang ng yakan, mga kababayan. Naitan. Okay, term ng Satan. Naitan, mga kababayan, no? Ayan. So masama talaga. Okay, sandali lang. Ito po, mga kababayan, no? Ang mga Palestino, mga kababayan, no? Sa kanyang utak. Okay, hindi niya wala po matira na mabuhay po ang mga Palestino, mga kababayan, no? So napaka-dangerous. Okay, itong Netanyahu, no? Naitan. Okay, salitang niya kanya Naitan. Very dangerous person, mga kababayan, no? Okay. So sige. Ayan. Saan na tayo? Ang oras natin, okay, 10 minutos po pasado alas 8, mga kababayan, na. 10 minutos pasado alas 8 na. Okay, sobrang na po ang kuan natin, pagpatuloy lang natin ito. Okay, si Netanyahu, mga kababayan, na. Okay.
Hezbollah joined the battle to support its ally Hamas in Gaza. The Secretary General of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, made it very, very clear, and his equation was there will be a fierce retaliation if any leader of the axis of resistance, whether it's a Syrian, a Palestinian, a Lebanese, an Iranian, any leader killed in Lebanon will trigger a fierce reaction. So people are waiting to hear, the Secretary General Nasrallah is supposed to speak tomorrow. It was a planned speech to commemorate the killing of the Iranian Quds leader Qasem Soleimani, but there are some reports now that that speech could be cancelled. So it will really depend whether this serious escalation will lead to a full-scale conflict. Now, many in Lebanon will tell you that Israel is trying to trigger a conflict. It has been escalating attacks in southern Lebanon, but definitely this assassination crosses a red line, and assassination.
Okay, itong Arab nation, in dilemma sila, mga kababayan, ngayon, no? Nakakatakot. Okay, itong mga kalagayan nila, mga kababayan. Lalo na po yung area po ng yung group po ng Gulf, okay, Cooperation Council, mga kababayan, na yung mga maliit na, halimbawa Saudi Arabia, okay, United Arab Emirates, okay, itong mga Qatar, okay, Oman, Kuwait. Ang situation nila ay very dangerous, mga kababayan, na. Okay, kung patuloy ito ganito, okay, mag-escalate ang gera ito, kawawa po yung mga bansa na yan, mga suki, na. Ayan. Okay, can you imagine United States at saka itong Israel mag-combine, mga suki, mga kababayan, na. Okay, Itong firepower nila napakalakas mga suki, no? Okay. So, okay, kung patuloy itong gera ito ay parating po sa mga ganon po mga kababayan, no? Yung mga senaryo ba nakikita natin? Okay, itong Yemen, okay, itong Iran, okay, itong mga bansa karatig dyan mga suki, no? Okay, yan okay, dapat ibantayan po ng lahat mga suki, no? Kung hindi mag-isip ang kano ito, ang mga supporter po ng Israel, hindi sila mag-isip mag-neutral, papunta po tayo roon na hindi na pumambat ang patayan dyan mga suki, no? Wala na. Ayan. Kasi wala yan magbaba ng kanilang okay, wala pong magbaba ng kanilang bandila mga suki, no? Okay. Wala na tayong mapuntahan eh. Saan ka mapunta? Sa UN wala na. Okay, sa US wala na. Okay? Pupunta ka rito sa Asian continent, wala na rin. Okay? Itong Russia, wala na rin. Kasi problema sila sa gera po mga suki, no? Ayan. Dahil po sa pag-control, okay, gusto po pagdomina po ng kayamanan ng daigdig mga kabayan. Yun ang pangarap nila. Wala nang mahalaga po sa buhay ng tao, no? Pangarap lang nga mag-control po ng kayamanan ng daigdig. China. Okay, wala na. Wala na po mag-control. Ang pag-aagawan niya ng kayamanan po dyan sa Middle East mga suki mga kababayan, no? Iyan po ang analysis natin. Ang kayamanan po ng black gold yung oil yan mga suki, no? Ayan. So kawawa po ang taong bayan mga suki. Global citizen kawawa dito sa gera ito. Ayan. Kaya sinabi ko hindi po metal-metal. Okay, ang tao ito mga kababayan, no? Hindi metal-metal. Okay, sa pagbigay po ng mga analysis, okay, maaari po ay totoo, maaari hindi. Pero sa nakita natin, maaari po totoo mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Kaya hindi metal-metal. Ayan. Sige.
Explain the rules of engagement, which have been in place for 3 months now. So all eyes on this. Hezbollah will do following the killing of Saleh Aruri. And we have to point out that it's not Saleh Aruri who was killed. He was killed along with a number of military commanders. And so
okay, mas lalo mainit yan pagkapatay po ng senior leader, itong si Saleh Al-Nuri, at saka yung isang general po ng dyan po sa Syria, okay, isang general po ng Iranian military mga kababayan, no? Mainit. Napakainit yan mga suki ang situation. Ayan. So, okay. Tayo ay sa malayo ay tumulong tayo maghanap po ng solusyon mga kababayan, no? Katulad natin ito. Ang interest natin po ang kapayapaan ng daigdig, no? Okay, ang maayos na ekonomiya, maayos po ang global economy, maayos po ang citizen ng mundo. Yun po ang purpose natin dito po sa daigdig mga kababayan, no? Yun po ang contribution po ng itong ADLSNTV Corporation, no? Para maayos po ang buhay natin sa daigdig. Pero wala nang makinig. Hindi na po makinig mga suki, no? Okay, kaya nga sa 2024 elections ay Amerika maghanap tayo ng mga pragmatic leader. Okay, yung okay, kapakanan po ng daigdig ang hanapin natin sa kanila, no? Si Biden, let him go away. Okay, wala na po mga kababayan. Sira. Okay, President Joe Biden, no? Ayan, sa ginawa niya ngayon, his credibility, okay, are now destroyed mga kababayan. Joe Biden, no? So we are looking for a next president United States of America, a pragmatic leader, okay, who love global economy, mga kababayan, who love global citizen. Okay, wala na. Ipasa natin po si Joe Biden ay mahinga na. Okay, uwi na pa doon sa kanyang probinsya, mga kababayan, kanyang state, mga kababayan, no? Sa Delaware. Pauwi na lang doon, mga kababayan. Huwag na natin suportahan itong si Joe Biden, mga suki, no? Very dangerous ang nangyayari sa atin, no? Ayan. So, tapusin natin ang pagtulong sa kanya, mga kababayan, no? Ayan. So, go ahead. Ayan.
This was a serious blow to Hamas's military infrastructure, if you like, in Lebanon.
And Zainab, just give us a sense of how much of a presence Hamas had, not just in Beirut, but in Lebanon in general. What was the role that Hamas operatives played there?
Well, as of late, Lebanon became a safe haven, if you like, for the leaders of Hamas. As of late, it became a strategic base for Hamas. After the rapprochement between Hamas and Hezbollah a few years back, there was a falling out, followed conflict in Syria. Since then, they have been slowly building their infrastructure, the political systems in the country. Hezbollah and Hamas coordinate with each other. And since the conflict on the border began, we've seen several meetings, between Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah, as well as with the assassinated deputy leader of Hamas, Saleh Aruri. So you have this close coordination, and in many ways, they were living and working in the southern suburbs of Beirut. Some would call this a Hezbollah stronghold, but this is a place where 500,000 people live. We are standing very close to the site of that explosion, and I can tell you, you look at people's faces; they're fear and concern about what could come next, because this was what everyone was worried about: the conflict along the border. Widening, and that clearly this really is in many ways a turning point. But we have to see whether or not this serious escalation will lead to a full-scale conflict between the Israeli army and the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah.
All right, for the moment, Zainab Khodr on the line for us there from Beirut. Thanks very much, Zainab.
Okay, tapos po ang analysis po ng mga tagapagbalita po dyan sa Inside Beirut. Okay, galing po sa Independent News. Okay, magbigay ng feedback sa atin, mga kababayan, no? Ayan. So, yan po ang current, latest, okay, ang balitang daigdig, mga kababayan, no? Okay. So, saan tayo pupunta? Okay, magdagdag pa tayo ng balita. Wala nang oras. Mga isang balita na lang po, mga kababayan, kahit kalahati lang. Okay. Sandali lang, no? Ayan. Ayan po. So, magbigay lang tayo ng isang balita, mga kababayan, and then mag-close tayo ng programa. Ayan. Balitang hanap buhay po, ang punteriya natin, no? Okay. ito po, maghahanap buhay dito po. First Treasury Bill auction. Okay, for 2024 upsize to 7 billion pesos mga kababayan. No? Hindi. Hindi 7 billion, 17 billion po. Okay, ang na-auction. Okay, dito po hanap buhay po ng Treasury Bill mga kababayan. No? Pera ng government. And then pinapautang po sa mga pribado. Yung may mga pera. Okay. At kung saan-saan mapunta po ang pera para panduhan pang pamahalaan mga suki, no? Okay, basahin po natin ang Manila, Philippines, the government upsize the first short-term security auction. Okay, for the year, as investor asking rate were generally lower amid the expectation of a slower inflation, a detail of 2023. Ibig sabihin is the tailed, okay, November, December, no? The Bureau of the Treasury yesterday fully awarded the even upsize to 70 billion. Its Treasury bill on offer from a 15 billion pesos original target. It was the first Treasury bill auction in 2024, no? For 2024. Okay, sige na. Papasok na po rito sa auction mga kababayan, no? Okay, yung maraming milyones dyan. Ayan. Okay. In particular, the Treasury upsized the 182 days. 182 days, makapera ka na mga kababayan, no? 182 days offer to 7 billion from the target 5 billion. This came even rate for the 182 days offer increased by 6 basis point to 578% from the secondary rate to over 5.518% and was higher. Okay, from the last auction, 5.267%, no? Okay, nonetheless, yield for the 91 days na, makapera ka na. And isang taon, makapera ka na. 364 days offer decline in comparison, okay, to the reference rate. Okay, this auction was 2.7 times oversubscribed, more attracting, okay, 39.9 billion pesos in a total tender, okay, prompting the committee to double the accepted volume of a non-competitive bid for the 182-day Treasury bill mga kababayan, no? Okay. So marami kang pera dyan, bili ka ng Treasury bill mga suki, no? Okay, habang mababa po ang interest rate. Ayan. Ayan. Okay, the 91-day short-dated debt papers, okay, debt papers show a rate go down by 10.4 basis point to 5.14%, but above last auction level of 4.996%. Likewise, rate average 5.829%. Okay, for the 364-day Treasury bill. Okay, 3.8 basis point lower, okay, than the secondary rate, but also slightly up from the last auction rate of 5.732%. Ayan po mga suki, mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Okay, ipagpatuloy natin ang balita ito. Okay, kahit mag-ija-ija tayo, dahil magsama-sama na po ang letter sa binabasa ko, no? Yields were they generally lower as the market is expecting the inflation further ease in December. Market consensus is for inflation to have is to 4% during the last month of 2023 from 4.1% in November. The Philippine Statistic Authority (PSA) is set to release the December and the full year inflation data on January 5. Okay, January 5 release nila, no? Meanwhile, the 3-month and the 1-year securities were both fully awarded as 5 billion each. Ayan po mga suki, no? Ayan. So, yan po ang istorya po ng treasury bill natin, no? Okay. So, sige na. Okay, maraming pera dyan. Okay, mag-invest na po mga kababayan, no? Ayan. Ayan. Okay, demand also increased by 15% to 39.945 billion. Tumaas po ang demand. The auction, was oversubscribed. Problema ay nabili na po lahat, no? Oversubscribed na by 2.66 times. Bid rose to 14.36 billion pesos and 12.225 billion pesos for the 6 months and 1 year, with treasury bill respectively, but slightly went down to 13.36 billion pesos for the 91 days offer. Bumaba po mga suki, no? Okay, yung mga maikling 90 days. Okay, for this month, the Treasury aimed to borrow 195 billions. Mangutang po ang Treasury, kaya nga magbenta sila ng kanilang TV. Okay? Kailangan pondo, 195 billion from domestic creditor. Of the 75 billion is expected to come from short-dated treasury bill. So yan po ang kasaysayan po ng treasury bill natin, na. Okay, so tapos na ang balita, ito na po ang marinig nyo. Okay? Sobra na po overtime, no? Ayan.
Awesome! 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 Awesome!
Okay, yan po katapusan ng balita sa umagang ito. Okay, ang tagdang oras natin ay 32 minutos po pasado alas 8. Kung mukonsume ako ng 1 oras, okay, 24 minutos at saka 45 segundo mga kabuhan sa balita ko, no, sa araw ito. So, overtime ng mga suki, no, dapat 1 oras lang. Hindi po natin mahabol ang 1 oras. Okay, paalam tayo dito po sa Consolidated News. natin, okay, dito po lang sa himpilan po ng ADLSNTV Corporation, okay, pinupundohan po ng Mind of Global Food Lines Corporation din mga kababayan, kaya meron tayong balita araw-araw. Okay, kasi kung walang pondo po, hindi tayo makabalita, hindi tayo makaproduce ng balita. Ayan. Okay. So, problema po ang studio ko, kailangan po mga apat na, okay, apat na po ekwipo. Dapat baguhin mga suki. So, mula-mula po yung speaker. At saka itong tumutunog ito. Ito. Ayan. Okay po man. So, kailangan po matagal na kasi ito. Okay, dapat po ay ma-update. Ayan. Hanap tayo ng ekwipo mga kababayan. No? Ayan. So, mga apat na ekwipo, kailangan natin ma-upgrade mga suki. No? Kasi itong mga system kasi kailangan updated mga suki. No? Lalo na po sa news online. Okay, kasi dapat ang equipment ay mga advanced mga kababayan. No? Okay. So, can you imagine, 13 years na ito gagamit ko, no? Itong cursor ko. 13 years na po itong 2024. So, kailangan pa yung mga modern, okay, yung mga electronic cursor, mga suki, mga kababayan. Ito ay kuwan kasi, yung mga datihan pa. Ayan. So, okay, kailangan mag-purchase, maghanap po mga source ng ekwipo ang ADLSNTV Corporation. No? Okay, sa programa po, halo-halo special opinion balita at iba pa. Kasama po serbisyo publiko tinig ng mamamayan at saka itong sumbungan ng mamamayan. No? Okay, ang news natin, wala mang anumang interest iba mga kababayan. Ang interest natin, hindi tayo kampi sa Israel, hindi tayo kampi sa Hamas, okay, sa mga militan, hindi tayo kampi sa Hezbollah, okay, yung galing sa Lebanon. Ang purpose natin lang ay kapayapaan mga suki, no? Okay, tukon po sa United Nations, okay, UN Charter mga kababayan, no? Yun po ang gusto natin na masunod. Hindi po natin masunod po ang interest po ni Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, no? Sa kanya lang yon. At saka hindi din natin pwede masunod po ang interest ng Hamas. Sa kanila yon. Ang importante po ang interest po ng buong daigdig mga kababayan, sa ekonomiya, okay, sa politika, okay, sa development, sa serbisyo publiko, yun po ang interest natin, no? Sa mga negosyo ay dapat po ay generate employment, no? Katulad dito ng Mind of Global Food Lines, no? May naka-employee pag naka-employee, okay, naka-generate ng employment, no? Pag open lang niya sa December 16, okay, 3 katao kaagad ay ma-employ niya mga kababayan, no? Yon po ang kailangan po ng mga industry. Okay, maka-generate po ng employment mga kahit paano makatulong. Makatulong po mga kababayan, no? Okay. Ako hindi na kasi ako ay titular head ng Mind of Global Food Lines. Pa-kuan-kuan na lang, no? Okay, bahala na yung mga general manager, bahala na po ang treasury, sa finance, bahala na po sa operation, no? Ako wala na. Kaya focus lang ako rito po sa aking microphone. Ayan, masamang boses ko na. Okay, yon po ang kagandahan po na meron kang mga negosyo kasi makatulong po sa kapwa, no? Okay, pag-generate ng employment. Ayan. 3 kaagad. Okay, sabi ng general manager, magdagdag pa silang halimbawa tauhan, no? Family business. Kasi ang kasaysayan ng Pilipinas, ang maraming yumaman po ay ang family business, no? So, Damahan family po ay magpundar, okay, ng negosyo, within the family. Tulong-tulong po ang pamilya mga kababayan. No? Yan po ang purpose, objective po ng Mind of Global Food Lines at saka itong mga negosyo natin iba mga suki. No? Ayan. Family business. Kasi dito sa Pilipinas, katulad mga Ayala Group of Companies, pamilya yan. Billiard Company, yung Carmelia, mga housing, family yan. Okay, at saka itong mga JG Summit, pamilya yan. Kogong Way. Okay. At saka mga SM, pamilya po mga kababayan. No? So kung magpundar ka ng negosyo dito sa Pilipinas, para magtagumpay ka, okay, ay mga pamilya mo mga kababayan. No? The best, okay, pamilya mga kababayan. No? Yung mismo, halimbawa ako, ang pinuno, and then ang mga sa susunod, mga anak ko, okay, ayan po, dapat, no, ang pagpundar. Meron akong mga medtech, meron ako engineer, okay, meron soon to be pharmacist. Ayan po mga suki. Sa pamilya, ang the best po negosyo po dito sa atin, no? Okay, kasi pag mga pasukan ka ng iba, minsan po ay hindi magkasundo, and then magkasiraan po mga kababayan, no?